From Mikey Fan. Will the Cardinals pay or trade Kyler Murray? That's the problem, isn't it? Kyler wants to get paid now. He's watching Deshaun Watson get the bag. He's watching Josh Allen get the bag. He's watching Matthew Stafford. Etc. He goes, I want that too. The problem is Murray has not yet performed to that level of play. Started 2021 great. Really struggled down the stretch. But there are teams who would desperately love to add Kyler Murray. Some potential fits. The Steelers, yeah, they signed Mitch Trubisky. They've been linked to QBs. They draft somebody. Hurts, not Murray, I don't think, upside or current-wise, so Philadelphia. The Giants would have their franchise QB. The Saints now have 2 first-rounders. Carolina is in dire straits for QB help. Tennessee could go full-fledged. Matt Stafford, Jared Goff. Seattle could get a new QB. The Lions, at some level, there's only like 10 teams that like you would know for a fact would not have interest in Kyler Murray. Maybe it's more like 12, but there would be a lot of interest. Arizona, they didn't extend their GM head coach. Can't bring in a new QB. He's got to be your guy, or I think that regime is getting fired. So what would you do if you're the Cardinals with Kyler Murray? Type T for trade him, sell him while his value is highest. Type W for we're going to wait him out and maybe pay him next year. Or type P for you'd pay him right now. This is the pinned comment on today's video. So if the ad break comes on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there and type in your T, W, or P.
Let's go to Creative Crunch. That's an interesting cereal. Chris Olave to the Titans at pick 26. Grade that pick, please. I would give it a B+, A- because I love Chris Olave. I think he offers you a lot, and it would really help out Ryan Tannehill in that offense. You'd have A.J. Brown, Robert Woods, and then Chris Olave. You also have Austin Hooper, so 4 very reliable targets. I also say this. I don't see Chris Olave getting out of the top 20. He's one of my favorite wide receiver prospects. He might not be built like a wide receiver 1, but that guy just simply gets open, and that can't be understated for how important that is in the National Football League, obviously. So I would give it a B+, A- grade, though I don't see him being there. So how many wide receivers, y'all, get drafted in the first round of the 2022 NFL Draft? I just recently saw a mock that had 7 wide receivers go in round 1. There's a lot of wide receiver talent. There is no doubt about that. The number that I would put it at is 5.5 would be my over-under because I see Garrett Wilson, I see Chris Olave, I see Drake London, Treylon Burks. Does somebody take a shot on Jamison Williams? That remains to be seen. Jahad Dotson from Penn State's another really solid receiver. But now there's starting to be rumors around Christian Watson from North Dakota State. Like, he's a great player. No way I'm taking him in round 1. So let me know, how many receivers get drafted in the first round?
From Felix Chill Videos, who is the best receiver outside of round 1? I don't think George Pickens goes round 1, but that's a really good football player. And it's kind of like receiver Derek Stingley, where had the career been flipped, he'd be in that top, I think, 15, top 20 conversation. I love his attitude, by the way. He's such a bully out there, in a good way, I mean. So I like Pickens a lot there. I'm a big Alec Pierce fan, who I know will be there in round 2 and maybe round 3. I think those are 2 names. I think guys like a Christian Watson, a Jahan Dotson, Sky Moore are maybe better guys, but I think they have a better chance of going round 1 than George Pickens does. Cameron Christie, what are good fits for Devin Lloyd? I think Lloyd, to an extent, is kind of like there isn't a scheme he doesn't fit in. 6'3-ish, 237, long arms, not elite 40, but his testing overall was still good. Special teams value, there's good instincts, 2-year captain, he can cover, he can run, he can blitz a little bit. Like, those are all things you want. I got a first-round grade on him. So if you're going to go linebacker in round 1, I think teams like the Patriots could start to make sense at that point. Eagles never go linebacker round 1, but maybe. The Commanders could be a dark horse at number 11, as weird as that sounds with all their linebacker investment there. If the Giants go back up in round 1, they could make sense. Chargers, dark horse, fit for linebacker after losing Kaiser White. Maybe Packers. Dallas is a fit there. Titans, I know people link the Tennessee Titans to a linebacker, but I don't think it's that big of a need for them. The Lions, I think, worst case. I would be shook if Devin Lloyd doesn't go round 1. Andrew Temple, do you think that the way things are going right now, when teams don't have the money to pay big players, they just get traded off? So it's not they don't have the money. The Packers wanted to pay Devontae Adams. The Chiefs could have paid Tyreek Hill. They could have paid Amari Cooper. It was that they didn't think the value was right. And in general, that is what teams should do. If you're not going to pay somebody and somebody else will, then trade them and get something back. So I think that is the way things are going, and frankly, it's the way they've gone before. Teams are just a bit more aggressive in trading for those guys than what they might have been in the past. NFL Daily is now also on Rumble. Exclusive content, more videos, and of course, stuff we post here on YouTube is also available on Rumble. We try to dominate that platform. Rumble.com/NFL Daily. DG Sports Talk, are y'all hiring? That is above my pay grade, my friend. But to answer your question on Pierre Strong, I just finished him up the other night, so let me read off from my scouting report here. Pierre Strong, 5'11" and change, 202. Zone rushing scheme. Sleeper. I wish he played FBS. But he tested great with elite production at South Dakota State. Made some guys miss. Big play threat, 10 rush touchdowns of 50-plus yards. Drops are an issue, and they were an issue at South Dakota State 4 this past year against just 22 catches. I think he's a bit more like build-up straight line speed than big-time explosion, which is probably fine. My question mark is he Elijah Mitchell? I think it's a good player comparison. Or on the downside, is he Darrington Evans? 4th round, could have a sleeper on your hands there.
All right, so out of the 4 teams that y'all see on screen right now, who ends up this 2022 season with the most wins? If you think it's the Tennessee Titans, I want you to go ahead and type TEN. Baltimore Ravens, BAL. Seattle Seahawks, SCA. The Pittsburgh Steelers, type PIT. The reason why I'm going to go with the Tennessee Titans is because they're in the weakest division. Though the team that I see being the worst on screen is Seattle. Baltimore has the upside with Lamar Jackson. Pittsburgh has the defense, but they're in a much tougher division. So I'm personally going to go ahead and say TEN. Fishing Life, Mike, what up, my dude? Who do you think will be the surprise player to fall out of the first round? Good question. Surprise player to fall out of the first round. This might be an unpopular opinion. I'm going to go with Drake London, the receiver from USC. He's really talented, but has already had some injury issues that I know some NFL scouts are a little bit weary about. So if I know some of these other wide receivers are really talented and I could take them in the first round, I'll say Drake London, but that would be a big-time surprise.
Now, if you want daily NFL videos and the 2022 NFL Draft Live, you're at the right spot. Hit that big red button and subscribe, youtube.com/chatsportstv. Alex Alay, why is Kayvon Thibodeaux falling down boards? It's a good question. I will not speak for myself because I like Thibodeaux a lot. I want to make that clear. But the reports and buzz and whispers and claims out there are kind of as follows here. He's not a great bender. It's true. He doesn't have great bend. He's not a great athlete. False. Not as big as we thought. Kind of true. But also, like, you should have known that because the numbers were out there for a while here, like from a team perspective. He's got an ego. Sure. But also, like, you know, he's a top 10 pick. Like, of course he has an ego. It's not a bad thing. He's got focus issues. He cares about his brand. And that's what annoys me the most. This, like, Thibodeaux doesn't love football. We've heard that before with other top Oregon prospects. Justin Herbert doesn't love football. He's too smart. Real thing. Penei Sewell, immature with no specifications as to why. That narrative happens a lot with Oregon guys. And it's 0 for 2 with Sewell and Herbert so far. And I don't get why that happens just for them. Doesn't make any sense. And it's really weird to see the Thibodeaux cares too much about his brand when Aiden Hutchinson has a show already with PFF. Like, that narrative disconnect doesn't make sense to me. It's really weird. I think Thibodeaux should probably pick number 2. If I were the Lions and I missed out on Hamilton, I'm not going to go safety in round 1, which, okay, I get positional value. I would take Thibodeaux. The Texans at 3, the Jets at 4, the Giants at 5. Should all strongly consider Kayvon Thibodeaux. The Giants 7, Falcons 8, Seahawks 9. If he gets out of the top 10, maybe then the NFL is right. Maybe then there is the real stuff. They're concerned about a Justin Gilbert all over again. For you Browns fans, you know that one. And maybe we're wrong. It's tough to know, but the NFL isn't always right on those things. And it's just, the narrative is weird for around Kayvon Thibodeaux, especially with the Oregon stuff being similar in the past. And I like him a lot. Top 5 guy for me. I take him in a heartbeat. So what do you think? Who will draft Kayvon Thibodeaux this year? Pin comment on today's video. The ad break comes. You know the drill. Head down there. Let me know who you think will draft Kayvon Thibodeaux in round 1 of this year's class.
All right, y'all, so we're talking about cornerbacks. How many corners get drafted in round 1? Usually, and I try to diagnose each position by my top players. I could see 4 cornerbacks going in round 1. I would probably set it. I'd probably set the over-under at 4.5, though that seems high. Maybe 3.5, because I see Stingley, I see Sauce, and I see Trent McDuffie all going in round 1. And then after that, it does get a little bit interesting. So let's say 3.5. That would be the over-under. Let me know how many corners get drafted in the first round of the 2022 NFL Draft.